Hey guys, this is Daniel here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 3 best wireless noise cancelling headphones in the market. Now we have here the Microsoft Surface headphones, the Bose QC35 ones, and the Sony 1000 MX3s. And yeah, they all pretty much retail for this price range of $350. The Bose QC35 ones that I have here are a little bit cheaper because they're the older model. There are QC35-2s with some newer features. So that's something to keep in mind, but I'll get into why I bought these particular ones later in the video. So yeah, basically I'm going to start this video off with the ones that I like the least and end the video with the overall best. And at the end, I'll just talk about which one I'm choosing out of all 3 and why. So let's start this off with the Surface headphones, which I actually were the first ones that I bought originally to just buy and keep. Like, I was not going to make a video or anything. I was just going to buy some wireless canceling headphones for work and keep those and use those. But I used these and I did not like them. Shocker. But yeah, pretty much one of the first things that I didn't like about this was the actual build quality. As soon as I took them out of the box, I was like, they feel a little bit cheap. And I mean, of course, it's all like matte plastics and stuff, but just the look of it also doesn't help the feeling of it. Like, it's all plastic and everything. Like, even the metal things that look metal are also plastic. So yeah, it doesn't feel good, and also I don't think the color really helps. And for me, in my opinion, it just ends up looking like a product that looks like a higher end product, like a knockoff almost. And it is kind of true because some of the more expensive headphones out there do have this kind of design that's totally different from the Bose and the Sony. So when you see when I put them on, I kind of look like Frankenstein here. And yeah, they're really big on me, and that's also because I do have a big head. But one of the main things that I also didn't like about these, and that's more important than anything else, was the actual comfort of these. So I could wear these for about 30 minutes or so without, before having to take them off and actually just kind of get some relief on my ears, because they were just creating too much pressure and they were getting kind of hurt, which is something that doesn't happen with the Sony or the Bose for a couple of hours with the Sony and a couple of more hours in the Sony with the Bose. So those 2 things were kind of the major reasons why I just didn't even want these anymore. And so while I still had these, I went out and I bought the new Sonys, tried those out. They were like so much better that I ended up just not caring for these at all. And really the only redeeming features about these headphones are that it has really nice controls of the noise canceling and of the volume. So on the right hand side, you can control the volume with these rings that it has right there. You can kind of see that there. You just turn that. On the left hand side, it's the same thing but for noise canceling, so you can control exactly how much, if you want a lot or less. And it's really cool to see that effect when you're at a place like a Starbucks or something. It's really neat. So yeah, that's something that the other 2 don't have, which is really cool, like modern controls. This one has USB Type-C, and so does the Sony. One of the other things I didn't like about this was the voice assistant, which is Cortana. The only problem with that is that it's always on, so even if you don't want to use it, it's always looking for the phrase, "Hey Cortana," and that deters the battery life. This one's rated less than the other 2. This one's at only 10 hours or so, while the other 2 are like, the Sony are at 30 hours and the Bose are like at 20 hours or so. So that's something to keep in mind. The battery life on these, you're gonna have to charge them more often for a very dumb reason. And not only that, the noise canceling in these is just not quite as good as the other 2 here, and definitely not even close to as good as the Sonys, which are just kind of like on another league of its own, because that's like just the latest and greatest in noise canceling tech. But yeah, as far as some of the pros for these headphones is that the actual cushion itself is actually like more mushy and like better feeling than the other 2 over there. So if you don't have Dumbo ears like me, then and these fit well, then they're going to be really comfortable and they're going to feel really good on the head. So that is something to keep in mind. The other cool thing, of course, is what I mentioned, was the controls. And lastly, is the fact that you can pair this to quite a few devices. The Bose can only pair to 2. The Sony can't pair to any more than just 1, so you have to connect it and reconnect the Bluetooth every time you want to pair it to a new device. And these Surface headphones can connect to, I don't even remember, but definitely more than 2. So if you're looking for something like that, then, maybe keep these in mind. And yeah, just overall, not a big fan of them, and they're definitely not worth the $350. Maybe if they were on sale for like $250, in that case, then maybe some of the cons that it has would make up for it. But for now, I definitely would not recommend it just because it's on the same tier as the Sonys, and for the same price, you're really buying a much lesser product. Even though it's got some neat little gimmicks, it's just nowhere near as good or as kind of finished of a product as the Sonys, or even the Bose for that matter. So now let's go ahead here and talk about the Bose. We're gonna save these Sonys for last because those are kind of the best, so I'm going in order here. And I do want to go right off and say that the Bose are the ones that I actually like the most out of all three. And this might discredit me a little bit, and I know, but I'm not an audiophile. I don't care about codecs. I don't care about any of those things. I usually just put something on. If it sounds good and it feels good, I like it, and that's what I want, right? So these, I put them on. They're super lightweight. They're super comfortable. For my ears, my head type and everything, they're still more comfortable than the Sonys. I can wear these for like 6 hours before like feeling that I really not gotta take them off for a break. While the Sonys is about 3 hours or so. And the thing with the Sonys was that I did have to take them off maybe every hour, 45 minutes or so, just for a little bit, and put them around my neck, because the pads heat up more than the Surface or the Bose pads. So something to keep in mind. If those little things bother you like they do me, then that's going to be a big reason not to get those and get something like these Bose, which are really all about comfort. One of the cons here with that comfort comes that everything's cheaper feeling. There's no like heft to these. They don't feel quite as robust as the Sony, which make it feel like they're worth $350. The Bose don't really feel like they're worth it. These particular ones, as I mentioned earlier in the video, are the QC35 ones, which were $300 at Costco. Great thing about these, no voice assistance, so you don't have to worry about that if you don't want it. So not even a feature that's included in these. And then it also has, well, that's kind of a con, is micro USB, but if some of you still have a lot of micro USB devices, that might be a good thing because the other two run on USB Type-C. So something to keep in mind. I do have a lot of micro USB devices, but I actually bought this little adapter that goes at the bottom of the headphones and any other micro USB device or lightning device that I have on Amazon, and then I can charge them through a magnetic cable, which makes it very simple and easy. And then all I have to worry about is a USB Type-C cable and this magnetic cable right here. And so far, it's been working great. It doesn't look that great at the bottom of the headphone, especially since it's like not black. But yeah, one of the big things for me was also the fact that it has physical buttons. The other ones all have like touch pads on the sides of the headphones, so I didn't go over that on the Surface ones. So yeah, that's actually one of the good features about the Surface headphones, is that both of the cups on here are touch, so you can pause it on either side, which is nice. Something in the Sonys, which we haven't gotten to, is that only one side is for the media control, the other side doesn't do anything. So here on the Bose, we have physical buttons. I love physical buttons just because you can feel your way around it. You know which button does what. It's all just very simple. There's no mistake or way of making an error of swiping correctly or something like that, or having to swipe with your hand, whatever. It's much more easy in my opinion, and I like it more than the other thing. We also have a physical switch for the Bluetooth and on, which I also prefer. It's just so much easier to flip a button and they're off than to hold a button down for a couple seconds, or to search for a tiny little button like on the Surface headphones and click that. And it's a lot harder compared to just switching a button. So yeah, I also do, and hear me out here, I do prefer the sound on the Bose. I really tried and everything, but for what I do, which is mostly watching Netflix movies and stuff like that, I prefer the feeling that the headphones give when you have them on. So it makes it feel like almost like you're in a room listening with like a stereo system and stuff, instead of the Sony, which are way more like in your ears and everything's more full and stuff. And yeah, things do sound better, like it's a higher quality sound and everything, but for me, I just overall prefer the way they sound, if you know what I mean. Not the quality, they don't sound better, but I prefer the way that they sound and that the feeling that I overall get with the headphones. So I understand that some people have said like, oh, I upgraded from the QC35s to the Sonys and I'm super happy, they're so much better. My QC35s are trash compared to the Sonys. I get that. For me, I still like the Bose. So that's that. Something to remember with gadgets like this is that it's really subjective. It really depends on the person's head type, the person's ear type, the way the person prefers to listen to music. what type of music or what type of things they like to listen to. So it really varies, and it does help to go somewhere where you can try all these on and try them on. But here are the Sony. So as a good rule of thumb, just for all these that we've seen so far, if you want just overall, you just care about music quality and codecs and things like that, Sony are gonna be the way to go. If you just care about noise canceling, then definitely the Sonys. If you care about comfort, I think overall, most people will be happier with the Bose. And if you, for some reason, need Cortana assistant, or I don't know, there's really honestly no reason to get the Surface headphones in my opinion. They're nice little headphones, but definitely not for the price that they're being charged for here compared to the Sonys or even like the Bose, which yeah, have a track record of being good and lasting a long time. Also, the Sony and the Bose have replacement ear cups, and you can find those more easily and stuff. I don't know about the Surface headphones, but those are new. We don't know how long they last, and you know, if Microsoft is even going to keep supporting them a year from now. So those are little things to keep in mind. But yeah, continuing about the Sony here, which are just really kind of like the epitome of an amazing headphone. Like overall, they're comfortable. All the features are great. They're constantly updating them. They actually updated them just recently to support Amazon Alexa along with Google Assistant. So it had Google Assistant, but now it has Alexa. Yeah, and they work perfect. You just click one button. So the noise canceling and ambient button that it has next to the power button on the headphones here, you just click that once, and then it goes into ambient noise where you can hear everything around you, and the speakers are on so that you can talk to Alexa. And it's super simple, very easy to use. You click that button and say like, what time is it? Or drop in on blah, 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 or something like that. And it just works. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about here is that the overall feeling of the headphones, which was what I was talking about with sound and everything, does have a lot to do with the fact that the Sonys don't have that much space inside compared to the Bose. Like there's space more than the Surface headphones, and there's a cushion there. Everything's really nice, but not quite as much as the Bose, which have a huge amount of ear space there and make it really nice and roomy for your ear. Of course, this is gonna depend if you don't have Dumbo ears like me, but instead have smaller ears, and you know, they'll fit in here or they'll fit in the Surface headphones more easily and truly make them feel like over ear headphones. But overall, the quality of these Sony headphones are what, you know, all manufacturers should be looking at into making, because they just feel nice and sturdy. They feel great, and they feel like $350. They also come in a nice box, and the carrying case is really nice. Again, these do have USB Type-C. We got an on button. The only things I don't like about these is that it does have the touchpad, which I ended up not really liking, especially because it's right there on that matte finish. Over time, that is kind of get dirty, and I'm not a huge fan of it. It's also not all that great of a touchpad. It's not perfect, and that kind of sometimes gets annoying. And yeah, the way they look, I think they look pretty good. Definitely better than the Surface headphones. They aren't quite as slim as the Bose headphones that we have here, so let me put those on real quick. But they are definitely nice and sleek looking and professional looking. So you can see the Bose right there. These are a little bit slimmer, but the Sony definitely maybe look a little bit more premium and stuff, even though they are a little bit larger. If you don't like large headphones or more weight and you want the lightest headphones, definitely go for the Bose. But overall, these Sony headphones are really something to look into, and these are probably going to be your next headphones, just because I think people are going to be blown away by the noise canceling and the audio quality and just those extra little features that really make it. Unfortunately, you know, you got things, the fact that you can't connect it to more than one device. You got the touchpads if you don't like it. You have USB-C, which might be a pro or con depending on some. And yeah, I think those little reasons are the reasons to get something like the Bose, or just wait for the Bose QC35s, or wait for Apple to take theirs out, or Beats, or you know, all these other companies are getting into more premium headphones to compete against Sony and Bose. But definitely Microsoft, I think, missed the mark on here. If you're looking for headphones, I think go either Bose, go Sony, and choose between those two. Now, closing this up, just one last thing that kind of made me go for the Bose also, which is kind of a dumb thing, but I did want to mention it quick in this video, is that if you have these on here, let me see, you have them on you, and then you take them off onto your neck, these actually go downward, with actually make it easier to kind of rest on there, which is nice. But if you take them off and you go to put them on a desk, you can't flip them inward, right, to put them flat on the desk. So you would have to turn them over or just put them on the desk like this. Instead, I always usually put them on the desk like this, like the Bose. So you can take these off, but they don't close as well. You can see that. They don't lay very easily on your neck without pulling them down or something. So they kind of fit like that, but they don't fit like the Sonys. However, when you take them off, you can easily put them on the desk, which is what I do. And that little kind of interaction is kind of a big deal for me. And I like doing that and just leaving them on the desk like that, knowing that they're not gonna get scratched or anything. It's just a little thing, but those are the little things that kind of made me choose the Bose over the Sony, even though I know the Sonys are kind of better. But just when you combine those things together, what you need, what you want, it really just depends on the person. So in this case, you know I'm recommending something that a lot of people aren't gonna like, but I personally really love the Bose QC35s. And while I love the Sonys, I think for me, the Bose just work a little bit better. And at this point, those are the ones I'm gonna be keeping, and I am looking forward to seeing what comes out in the future. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down below in the comments. I'll get back to you there, or on Twitter at RMRDNL, or on Instagram at the same handle. And if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.